is probably the blood and guts of my talk. This is where you can do many, many things with Glary. So I'm going to touch on some of the highlights of the utility. All right, this is where, you know what, I could use, I'm going to need the mic because I'm going to be sitting down. Test, test. Good. Okay. All right. For the Glary utilities, after you download it and install it, and it's simply glarysoft.com, download the free version, and once you install it, you can just double click. And I'm going to take you over a few things. There's status, maintenance, modules, and then you got the menu. Stick to modules, and then there's a cleanup and repair. There's lots of things you can do here, but one of the things I'm going to concentrate on is registry cleaner. This is one of my favorite registry cleaner programs. So what we're going to do is the registry, after uninstalling and installing programs over and over, it leaves program authors have a trouble writing, and they don't clean it up after themselves when you uninstall the software. So we kind of have to help it by cleaning the registry. And this sometimes gets you errors that are happening, sometimes it fixes errors. It definitely helps with the computer running. Now, I just ran this program the last time I gave the talk, and it still finds 52 problems. So we're going to say repair. But when you run a registry cleaner, you don't run it once. You need to run it a couple times. And it's like, after you run it a couple times and there's no errors, then you know it's clean. So this is something that's worth looking at if you have those problems that occur now and then, and you're not sure. It's not like a regular error, but it's an error that occasionally pops up. This may or may not fix it. So we got rid of everything. We're going to close the registry cleaner. Uninstall manager. You can run this on every operating system. And of course I'm running it on Windows 7. But one of the nice features, how many times do you want to uninstall many programs? You can click batch uninstall and check all of the programs that you want to batch uninstall, and then you can uninstall them. So that's one of the things I like about, you also have Revo uninstaller. There's lots of other programs out there. This is sort of an all-in-one utility. So you can uninstall programs. Let's go to optimize and improve. Now, there are lots of ways to approach the startup manager. I always like MS-config, which I think they hid in Vista. I'm not sure. I haven't used Vista in a while. But certainly XP and Windows 7, if you type MS-config, one of the culprits of slowing down a computer, and we're going to look at this, MS-config is what I always go to when I'm looking to speed up performance, and I look for what items that I don't want to start. A great example here is Adobe Acrobat. Now, if you uncheck that, if you uncheck Adobe Acrobat, you're not getting rid of the program. You're getting rid of the helper program that auto starts every time you start your computer. So what I always look in here are what things do I absolutely have to have when the computer starts. Not that I just want to use it. What do I have to have? Do I need that iTunes helper? No. Do I need the Citrix ICA client? No. Even Webcam Max has a no. There's a lot of things here taskbar icon applet, no. Microsoft Life Cam, that's for when I plug in a camera that I don't even have plugged in right now. But it's a driver that was installed and auto starts. All of these things are hampering the performance. Now, not the Synaptics pointing device driver, I need that. That's the touchpad on the laptop. I want the video card, so NVIDIA. I want my mouse driver, the IntelliPoint. So there are things that, when in doubt, Google it. So if you don't know what it is, Google what, go to another screen and figure out before you take it off. I have an adage here that just, something to remember. If you don't know it, leave it. But if we know what the program is and we don't want it to auto start, then we check it. Go ahead.
When you do this, what do you want?
You just run the program. You can run iTunes, but you don't need iTunes. You don't need the iTunes helper file running in the background until you need it.
Where do I find it?
You don't need it. You just click iTunes program. All the software gives, what they do is, a great example is HP printing. They load like 5 different programs that auto start that have nothing to do right now with you directly printing. You don't need to run all of them all the time. iTunes, or this Adobe Acrobat is a great example. This is to help speed up Acrobat when I load it. It will load automatically when you go to run the program. It's just that I don't need half the program running now when I don't need it. Does that make sense? When you install software, some software says, hey, run this because I'm going to make it where it looks like the program's running faster if we're running half of it already when you start your computer. You don't need to have that running if you don't use it. A great is QuickTime. That's another one that loads partially in the startup. If you're not viewing anything that's QuickTime right now, you don't need it. But it will load when you go to run it. Does that make sense?
Where do you find these programs?
This is built into the system. MS, you just type MS config. You mean the program I'm running here to show you?
No, this Acrobat.
The Glary?
Acrobat, you erase it.
Oh, the other program. You're going to find that if you go to my website. I said that in the beginning. If you go to MikeTechShow.com, all of the programs are listed there. We'll go there just to show everybody real quick. All right. Does everybody follow, or am I getting too technical, too deep here? Is this like QuickBooks automatic update? I don't need it. I don't need the Logitech camera. I don't want Java to auto load. The Intuit Sync Manager? No. Acrobat? No. No. I want Avira Desktop because that's my antivirus. Do I need Webcam Max? No. I don't need that. I don't need that. Download Assistant, I don't need it. That's it. So now I just click Apply, click OK, and then it asks me do I want to restart? I'm going to say no. The next time I restart, it will not load those programs. That's the old-fashioned way. Glary, the reason why I wanted to show you this is it did not show everything. When you go to the uninstall manager of Glary, it oversimplifies everything. And it doesn't show you everything that's loaded. And you see it kept AVG and it kept the Adobe there, but it doesn't display everything that's really starting. And that's why uninstall manager's there, but it's a simplified version of it. If you want to get to it, the easiest way, type msconfig, it's with every computer. So I just wanted to show that. But now, go ahead.
When I get to that MS screen you had before, and I don't have a lot of programs, loading. But then if I immediately go to Control Alt Delete and get the processes.
That's the ones that's in memory running, and it's a little difficult. That's a good point. They're the processes that let's go to Control Alt Delete. Task Manager. Hold on. All right, let's minimize this. This is what you're talking about. But it's a little harder, and that, if you end a process here, Now, I hit Control-Alt-Delete, and I clicked Task Manager. Now, if I click one of these processes and say End Process, it's only going to end at that time. MS-config, we eliminated that every time we reboot, it'll stop from loading. Where here, it's only the instance while the system is running.
So a program does not show up on here unless it was on that other screen and I said it could load it. Now, there's just
Yes and no. Okay, I'll give you the simple answer, yes, but that's not really where everything's running. There's actually 1,000 things running. And hold that. If we have time, I'll show you a utility called that's a part of the sysinternal suite. It's free, and it tells you really what everything's running. Because MS-config is just a little portion. There's things that's loaded via the registry that aren't listed there. There are things all over the place that are loaded.
But for our purpose here, I mean, the reason
that's perfect. Yes. And that would stop it from running. But this
figure addresses the issue that we're concerned.
Yes, this is a good point because how many use Firefox? Great program, great browser, love it. Well, Firefox, did you notice the updates lately? They went from 4 and then very quickly 5, and now we got 6. Download 6. 5 was appalling. 5, they had problems. That's why they had to come out with 6. So when I started doing things with Firefox, I can't tell you how many times it would lock up. And sometimes the only way to get rid of it was to hit Control-Alt-Delete, go to Task Manager, go find Firefox here, and say End Process, and then all was better. I had to do that on a regular basis with Firefox 5. Firefox 6, I'm doing that less. So, just wanted to bring that up. This can be as nice as a helpful utility this could be. This is also dangerous. Because if you kill, there are services in here that I could kill and my system would just immediately crash. So you have to be very careful.
Down in the left-hand corner it says processes, 64.
Yes.
If that's considered a lot of processes at one time.
I don't think so.
You don't?
No.
Okay.
I'm running nothing. And there's 64 processes running.
Okay,
The one at home I have is several hundred, but go ahead.
Okay, if it was, let's say it was 100.
Yes.
How would that affect your computer?
Don't know. Depends on the processes. I could run 1 million processes that are taking very little memory and CPU. It all depends on the individual process. What is important is the CPU utilization. And you can see, how much CPU am I using? 1%. And there's 64 processes. There's no direct relationship. But I could have 1,000 processes here and have it go to 2%. I could have 3 processes here and be utilizing 99%. Depends on the process. So also physical memory. I'm only using 33% right now.
Windows 7 Microsoft. And I got Acrobat 4, 5, 6, and so on. So when I'm going to remove programs, that's all I have to do.
Yes, if you, now is this just the Acrobat, is this an Acrobat Pro or just Adobe Acrobat Reader? What Adobe Acrobat? Just the reader?
Yeah.
The free program to read? Yes, uninstall them all.
4, 5, 6.
Every one of them. Remove them all and then go to adobe.com and download the latest one, which is 10, which is X point something. I think it's what, 10.2 or something, or 10.3. And download the free version, yes.
So just go to remove.
Adobe, yeah, just go to add remove programs if it's XP. In Windows 7, you go to control panel and it's programs and features.
That's right.
And then you remove them. Which is something we should, or you can download Glary, go to the batch uninstall, and remove them. Now,